You woke up this morning, and before your feet even touched the floor, the noise began. It wasn't the day. It was the thoughts, a worry from last night, a rehearsed conversation, a list that never ends. It's a tiredness sleep cannot touch, a heaviness living behind your eyes. You aren't tired of living. You are tired of the weight of your own thinking. This noise isn't your nature. It's a pattern you've carried so long you've forgotten it's possible to breathe a different air. Today, we walk through 6 teachings of Buddhist wisdom to change that. Stay until teaching number 4. It is the permission you need to put the noise down, right now. If these words feel written for you, leave a comment and subscribe. There is more waiting for you here. Now, breathe. Settle into where you are, and let these words find you. There is a reason your mind never learned to be still. You grew up in a world that mistook worry for responsibility and vigilance for wisdom. To a mind shaped by the need to stay alert, silence felt unsafe, like falling. But this was just a habit handed to you before you could question it. And what was learned can, with enough tenderness, be gently unlearned. That is what today is for. Teaching 1, the exhaustion, has a name. There is a kind of fatigue that no one talks about openly. Not the tiredness that comes from a long day. Not the ache in your back or the heaviness in your legs after hours on your feet. Those kinds of tired, you understand. You rest, and morning comes, and something in you lifts again. This is the tiredness of a mind that has never once, not in years, perhaps not in decades, been given permission to be still. Think about what happens from the moment you open your eyes. Before you have spoken a single word, before you have made a single decision about the day, the mind is already working. It pulls yesterday back into view. It casts forward into what is coming. It finds the unresolved things, the conversation that ended without resolution, the worry that was still warm when you finally fell asleep, and it picks them back up as faithfully as if they were precious objects left in its care. It never stops. It was never taught how. I remember the first time someone described this to me, the idea that the mind could actually rest, not just sleep, but genuinely rest during waking hours, and I didn't fully believe it. It sounded like something available to other kinds of people, calmer people, people with fewer responsibilities. I want you to know, it is available to you, exactly as you are, right now. Buddha taught, and this is one of the most quietly revolutionary things he ever offered, that the root of suffering is not what happens to us. It is our resistance to what happens. It is the layers we place on top of what is already there, the commentary, the replay, the meaning we assign and reassign, the what-ifs we stack like stones on top of what already was. You do not simply experience your life. You narrate it, you judge it, you replay it at midnight and preview it before dawn. You hold it up to the light and examine it from every angle, searching for what you might have missed, what might still go wrong, what you should have said differently. And here is what I want you to hear, really hear, not just read and move past. The moment you name this, the moment you look at the noise and call it what it is, rather than simply being swept inside it, something shifts. A small distance opens between you and the thinking, a breath of space. And that distance, however thin it feels at first, is where everything begins to change. You are not overwhelmed by your life. You are overwhelmed by your commentary on your life. And those are not the same thing, not even close. One is what is happening. The other is the story your exhausted mind is telling about what is happening. And once you can feel the difference between those two things, Once you can stand for even a moment in the space between the event and the story, you will never be quite as lost in the noise again. There is a name for what you have been carrying, and knowing its name is the beginning of setting it down. Teaching, too. The mind thinks it is keeping you safe. Before we go any further, I want to say something that I think matters more than any teaching or technique I could offer you today. Your mind is not your enemy. I want you to sit with that for a moment, because it runs against everything the exhaustion might be telling you. When you have spent years worn down by your own thinking, when the noise has been so constant and so relentless, it is natural to start feeling a kind of quiet war with your own mind, to wish it would simply stop, to feel, on the harder days, almost a resentment toward the very thing that is supposed to be your greatest gift. But the mind that will not quiet itself was never trying to harm you. Behind every loop of anxious thought, behind every replayed conversation and rehearsed worst case, there is an intention that was once, perhaps many years ago, perhaps in a time of your life when vigilance was genuinely necessary, genuinely trying to protect you. The mind learned early, if I rehearse this enough, nothing will catch me off guard. If I anticipate the pain before it arrives, I can soften the landing. If I watch every detail, I can hold the chaos at bay. In its way, it was an act of love. A frightened, exhausting, relentless act of love toward the person it was trying to keep safe. The trouble is that the mind does not always update. It does not always look around, take stock of where you are now, and recognize that the original threat has long since passed. It simply continues the old pattern, faithfully and without question, the way a loyal dog waits by a door for someone who is never coming back. There is a story I want to share with you. An elderly woman had spent 30 years locking every window in her house before sleeping. Every night, without fail, she made the same careful circuit through every room, checking each latch, testing each frame, moving slowly from window to window until she had secured every one herself. Only then could she sleep. One evening, a visitor who had watched this ritual for several nights asked her gently, "In all these years, has anything ever come through those windows?" The woman paused. She thought for a long moment, longer than the visitor expected. "No," she finally said. "Nothing has ever come through." The visitor was quiet for a moment. Then, softly, "Then I wonder, are the locks keeping the danger out? Or are they keeping you locked in?" Silence. The woman stood very still, and something in her face changed, not dramatically, not with tears or revelation, but with the quiet recognition of someone who has just heard something they have always known but never found the words for. Sit with that story for a moment. The mind that plans and worries and rehearses is not wicked. It is not damaged. It is not something to be fought or punished or overcome through sheer force of will. It is simply an old lock on a window that was never truly threatened, maintained out of habit and loyalty long after the original danger dissolved. You can thank it for everything it was trying to do. You can recognize its faithfulness. And then, with the same gentleness you would offer someone you love deeply, you can begin to show it that it is allowed to rest. The thoughts that feel like armor are often the walls of a very small room, and you were always meant for more space than that. Teaching 3 planning is not the same as worrying. Buddha did not ask us to empty our minds. I want to say that clearly, because this misunderstanding has discouraged more people than it has ever helped. The image of meditation of a perfectly blank mind, swept clean of all thought, perfectly silent, is not what Buddha was pointing toward. It is a picture that leaves most people feeling like they have already failed before they have begun. The mind thinks, that is what it does. That is part of what makes it extraordinary. It makes connections and solves problems, and creates meaning and holds the people we love in a kind of continuous, tender awareness. We would not give that up even if we could. What Buddha offered was something far more practical and far more kind. He offered us the ability to see the difference between thought that serves us and thought that simply circles us without ever arriving anywhere. Here is the distinction, as plainly as I can offer it. Planning is intentional. You look at what is in front of you. You bring your full attention to it at a specific moment. You determine the wisest next step available to you, and then, this is the essential part, you release it. The thought has done its work. It has served its purpose. It is finished, and you are free to move on. Worrying is different in one crucial way. It does not finish. It returns. It comes back wearing slightly different clothes, asking the same question it asked an hour ago, knocking on the same door, finding no resolution, waiting on the other side. It is not moving toward an answer. It is simply moving, circling, returning, again and again and again. Planning is a river moving toward the sea. Worrying is water spinning in a drain. And the question that can quietly change the way you relate to your own mind is simply this. When this thought arrives for the 10th time today, is it bringing me something new? Is it moving me toward a decision? Toward a clear next step? Toward any kind of resolution I have not already visited? Or is it simply bringing me back to itself? Ask that honestly, without judgment or self-criticism, simply as an act of curious noticing. I started asking myself this question years ago, and what surprised me most was how often the answer was nothing new. The thought had nothing new to offer. It was simply visiting out of habit, and realizing that really seeing it made it so much easier to let it pass without following it. Because here is something that is important to know, and that no one told most of us when we were young and being shaped by the world. A thought that demands your attention is not always a thought that deserves it. You are allowed to notice a thought arrive, to acknowledge its presence without hostility. The way you might acknowledge a neighbor passing on the street, and then to return to what you were doing. You are allowed to say, without drama and without guilt, I have already visited this. There is nothing new waiting for me there. I am going to set this one down. That is not avoidance. That is not denial. That is the quiet, dignified, entirely sane act of choosing where you place the hours of your one life. Not every knock on the door of your mind needs to be answered. Teaching 4, you are not your thoughts. This is the teaching that changed something real for me, not the first time I heard it, but much later, on an ordinary, quiet morning, when it finally moved from something I understood in my mind to something I actually felt in my body. I hope it finds you the same way. I hope it lands somewhere deep. Here is what Buddha discovered sitting beneath that tree. In the stillness he had been searching for through years of seeking, that the rest of the world has spent 2,500 years slowly beginning to understand. You are not the voice inside your head. You are the one who can hear it. Read that again. Let it settle. Don't rush past it. If you can observe a thought, if you can watch it arrive, notice its tone, feel its particular weight, recognize it as it moves through you, then you cannot be that thought. You are always the witness. Always separate from what passes through. The observer is never the same as the thing being observed. This is not philosophy. This is something you can feel, right now, in this moment. Think of the sky. On some days, the sky is full. Dark clouds move through it, heavy and slow. Storms gather without warning. The light goes grey and flat, and the horizon disappears into weather. If you are standing beneath it, looking up, it can feel as though the darkness has no edge, no end, no bottom, as though this is simply what the sky is now, and perhaps always will be. But the sky does not become the cloud. It never does. It never has. The sky holds the space patient, vast, not indifferent but steady for whatever weather passes through. The storm comes with everything it has. The storm spends itself completely. And then the sky is still there, unchanged in its deepest nature, exactly as it always was. You are the sky. You have always been the sky. Now, I want to say something that I think matters, especially for those of you who have lived many years, who have carried these patterns for a long time, who have believed the voice inside your head for longer than you can easily remember. For someone who has spent 50, 60, 70 years taking every thought as truth, every critical word the mind produced, every catastrophic prediction, every whispered not enough, this realization is not a small thing. This is not a pleasant idea to tuck away and return to someday when you have more time to think about it. This is a revolution. Quiet, gentle, personal, and utterly complete. The voice that told you that you were not enough, that was a cloud, real in its moment, dark in its season, but always passing. The worry that kept you awake for 3 nights, that felt so urgent and so large that you could not imagine the world without it, a cloud. The grief you carried long past its season. The shame that attached itself to something that happened decades ago and refused to let go. The low hum of not quite right that colored so many ordinary mornings without you ever fully knowing why. All of it, clouds. All of it passing through the sky that you are. You were never any of those things. You were the stillness that held them, the space that gave them room to pass through, that watched them arrive and witnessed their movement and remained when they were gone. And here is something small and practical to carry with you, not a technique, just a gentle shift in the way you speak to yourself about what you are experiencing. When you notice yourself saying, "I am anxious," try instead, "There is anxiety moving through me right now." When the thought arrives that says, "I am not enough," try, "A thought is telling me I am not enough right now." When the voice says, "I am alone," try, "There is a feeling of loneliness present in me at this moment." Feel the difference between those pairs of sentences. That small shift, that breath of distance between you and the thought is not nothing. That is the entire practice. That space between you and the thing passing through you is where you actually live. That is where peace has been quietly waiting, without urgency, without judgment, for as long as you have been searching for it. The day you truly feel, not just understand, but feel that you are not the noise, is the day the noise loses its power over you. Not forever, not perfectly, but enough, more than enough to change how you move through your days. Teaching 5. Your body has been trying to bring you home. The mind travels everywhere. It goes back to last Thursday with perfect, uncomfortable clarity. It leaps forward to next month, to a conversation that hasn't happened yet, to a version of the future it is already rehearsing. It revisits the conversation from 3 years ago that still sits wrong in some quiet corner of you, and it previews the one you are already dreading next week, running through the possible responses before a single word has been spoken. The mind is restless, resourceful, relentless in its movement, but the body does not travel. The body is always here, always in this room, this chair, this particular quality of light, always breathing this specific moment, always now. And the body, this is what I want you to truly hear, the body has always been telling the truth. For years, for many of you, For most of your adult life, you learned to override what the body was saying. You pushed through the tiredness because there was always more to be done, and stopping felt like something you had not yet earned. You ignored the tightness that gathered in your chest in certain situations, because naming it would have required you to change something, and the time for that change did not yet feel possible. You called the knot in your stomach just nerves or just stress or simply the way I am, and kept moving, kept giving, kept managing, kept holding everything and everyone together with the quiet competence that everyone around you had come to rely on. Your body was speaking. In the only language it has sensation and tension, ache and heaviness. The particular way that stress gathers in a jaw at night, the breath that has been shallow for so long, you have forgotten what a full one actually feels like. It was speaking clearly and consistently and without ceasing. And you were taught that the mind's agenda mattered more, that the body's signals were interruptions, that you could address them later when there was time, when everything else was handled. I think about this with a kind of tenderness now, how faithfully the body tried to communicate, and how thoroughly most of us were trained to treat it as something to be managed rather than listened to. If you recognize yourself in this, I want you to know it is not too late to start listening. The body is patient. It is still speaking. It will speak to you as long as you are here. The shoulders that carry weight they were never designed to hold for this many years. The jaw that clenches in the night without you knowing it. The breath that lives only in the upper chest, never reaching the belly, never quite completing itself. The way your body braces slightly, almost imperceptibly, when certain names appear on your phone. These are not signs of a body failing you. These are the language of a self that has been waiting patiently, faithfully, without any resentment for how long you have been away to be heard. Buddha taught that the body is not separate from the path toward peace. In many ways, it is the path, because the mind can construct 1,000 arguments for why now is not quite the right time to be still, why there is still too much unresolved, why peace can wait until things are calmer. The body does not argue. The body simply breathes, simply feels, simply knows, with a wisdom older than thought, exactly where you are and what you need. Here is something very small I want to offer you, not as a discipline, not as another thing to add to your list, but simply as an act of kindness towards someone who has been waiting a long time to be tended to. One breath, just one, not to fix anything, not to achieve a state of deep calm or arrive at some elevated experience of peace. Simply to feel the breath as it moves through you, where it enters, how far it travels, how your body shifts to receive it, how it leaves. To be, for the length of that single breath, entirely here. Not in yesterday, not in next week. Here, in this body, in this moment, which is the only moment that has ever actually existed. That is enough. On most days, that is more than enough. You can build from one breath. You can begin again from one breath. You can return to yourself as many times as you have wandered away, starting always with one breath. Your body never left the present. It has been here the entire time, holding the door open, waiting with the kind of patience only the body knows for the day you were ready to come back. Teaching 6 peace is not something you find. It is something you return to. We have been searching for a very long time. Most of us began the search without even knowing it, reaching, in our younger years, for the feeling that things had finally settled, that the uncertainty had resolved itself into something stable, that we had arrived somewhere we were allowed to rest. We thought it would come with the right relationship, with the children grown and safe, with the career established, with the house finally in order, and the debts paid and the future secured. And when those things came, some of them, In different forms than we expected, we discovered that the searching had not stopped. We simply moved the horizon, found the next thing that would need to be resolved before peace became available, told ourselves, quietly and without quite realizing it, that we were almost there, that a little more time, a little more effort, a little more thinking and planning and managing would finally deliver us to the stillness we had been promised. Buddha pointed somewhere else entirely, not forward, down, beneath. Peace, he taught, is not a place you have not yet reached. It is a depth you have forgotten. It was never ahead of you on the road. It was always underneath, beneath the noise and the plans and the worry, beneath the decades of thinking and managing and holding everything together, beneath all the layers of a life fully and imperfectly and beautifully lived. This was the hardest thing for me to accept, and I suspect it may be for you too. Because if peace has always been here, beneath everything, then all those years of searching were what? I want to say gently, they were not wasted. The searching was part of finding your way back. Every path that led you here, to this moment, was part of the journey home. Think of a river in winter. On the surface, the water is broken and cold. Ice forms at the edges. The wind moves across it in ways that seem harsh, indifferent, almost angry. If you stand on the bank and watch only the surface, you might believe the whole river is turbulence. All the way down, nothing but chaos and cold. But the deepest water does not freeze. Go deep enough, and there is movement that is not frantic, slow, steady, continuous movement, following its nature without resistance, unbothered by the weather above. The storm is real on the surface. The cold is real. The turbulence is real. And the deep stillness is also real, existing in the same river, at the same time, without contradiction. You are that river. The pain is real. The grief you have carried is real, and it deserves to be honored, not dismissed. The difficulty of certain seasons of your life was real, and no gentle teaching should minimize what those seasons cost you. The noise inside your head is real, and we are not here to pretend otherwise. But beneath all of it, beneath everything you have lived and survived and carried, there is something in you that has never been fully disturbed, something that held steady through the hardest winters, something that kept you here, kept you loving, kept you moving toward the next morning, even when the night felt very long. That is not nothing. That is the most important thing there is. You have lived through losses that you were certain, in the middle of them, that you could not survive. You have carried griefs without names and fears without clear faces. You have woken up on mornings when the weight felt unbearable and gotten up anyway, shown up for the people who needed you anyway, found from somewhere you could not have identified, enough to keep going. That endurance was not produced by your thinking. Your thinking, in those moments, was often working against you. That endurance came from something deeper, something quieter, something that the noise never managed to reach. That is what Buddha was pointing to beneath that tree. Not a technique, not a philosophy, a recognition, direct, personal, available to anyone willing to be still long enough to notice that underneath the surface weather of the mind, there is a depth that has never been touched by any of it. You do not need to earn your way back to that depth. You do not need to resolve every open question or finish every unfinished conversation, or wait until the circumstances of your life have finally arranged themselves into something that feels worthy of peace. You do not need to be further along than you are, or calmer than you feel, or different in any way from what you are in this precise moment. You simply need to stop, even once, even briefly, even imperfectly, and remember, not with great effort, not with the forcing that so much of life has already asked of you. simply with a willingness to be still for long enough to feel what has always been there beneath the thinking. The quiet was never gone. It was only forgotten. The way you forget the sound of your own breathing when there is enough noise around you, and forgetting is not the same as losing. What was always there remains always there, waiting with the patience of something that has never been in a hurry, for the moment you choose to notice it again. That moment can be now. This breath can be it. The silence you have been searching for was never somewhere else. It was always the space between your thoughts, steady, unhurried, asking nothing of you, offering everything, waiting for you to stop moving long enough to feel it. Today we walk together through 6 truths. Not instructions to follow, not a program to maintain, not another set of expectations to carry alongside everything else you are already holding. Simply 6 quiet reminders of what somewhere beneath the noise, in the place the noise has never fully reached, you have always known. You learned that the exhaustion living behind your eyes has a name, and that name is not weakness, not failure, not simply how life feels for someone like you. It is a pattern, a very old, very human, very understandable pattern, and patterns can change. You learned that the mind which will not quiet itself was never your enemy. It was trying, in the only way it knew, to keep you safe. You can thank it for that faithfulness. And you can, slowly and without forcing anything, begin to show it that safety no longer requires that much vigilance. You learned the difference between thought that serves you and thought that simply circles, and that you are allowed, with great gentleness and no guilt, to choose between them. Not every knock on the door of your mind requires an answer. You learned, and I hope this one landed somewhere deep, that you are not the noise. You are the sky. You have always been the sky. Every thought that ever told you otherwise was a cloud, passing through the vast and unchanged stillness of what you actually are. You learned that your body has been holding the door open for you, speaking clearly, patiently, faithfully, for longer than you may realize. And that one breath, offered with real attention, is enough to begin the return. And you learned that peace is not somewhere ahead of you, it is beneath you. It was always beneath you. The silence you have been searching for was never in a different season of life, a different set of circumstances, a different version of yourself that had finally resolved everything. It was here. It is here. In the space between thoughts, steady and patient, asking nothing, offering everything. Now, only one thing remains, not a resolution, not a promise to yourself that tomorrow will finally be different, not a plan or a program or a discipline to add to all the other disciplines you have tried to maintain over the years. Just this, one moment of choosing, come home. Not when the worry resolves itself into clarity, not when the list is finished, because the list, in its current form, was never designed to finish. Not when everyone around you is settled and safe and no longer needs anything from you. Not when you have finally earned it. Now, here, in this breath, exactly as you are tired or rested, certain or confused, halfway through a hard season or standing at the beginning of something new, you have spent enough years living inside the noise. More than enough years carrying the weight of a mind that was never taught how to rest. You are allowed, right now, to step outside of it. Even for a moment, even briefly and imperfectly, and you will find, I believe this with everything I have, that the quiet was there, that it was always there, that it held no judgment for how long you were away, asked no explanation for all the years of searching, required nothing from you except your willingness to finally stop and feel it. You belong in that stillness. Not someday, when you are ready. Not eventually, when life cooperates. Now, in this moment, in this breath that you are breathing right now, as these words find you wherever you are, you have always belonged there. If something in these words touched you today, if one of these teachings found a place in you that needed it, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, what is one thought you are ready to stop carrying? Write it here. Sometimes the simple act of naming something, of bringing it into the light and giving it words, is the very first act of releasing it. And what you write may be exactly what someone else needed to read today. If you would like to keep walking toward that stillness, stay with us, subscribe, and come back whenever you need to remember. There is more here for you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for choosing, even for these few minutes, to come back to yourself. The quiet was always yours. Go gently.